Now, are you sitting comfortably? Well, you won't be in a moment because the UK is dealing with more bed bugs than ever as a result of the summer's hot weather. The problem's worse in densely populated cities, and warmer temperatures have been shortening the bed bug breeding cycle. Well, I've been speaking to David Cain, the Managing Director of Bedbugs Limited.
Bedbugs have been getting steadily worse over the last 15 or so years, and there's kind of a perfect storm scenario this year because insects, their life cycle is very much dictated by temperature. The elevated temperature of the temperatures of the heat wave has reduced the life cycle of bedbugs from egg to hatching from 14 days down to about 7. So they're now coming out at a much larger rate. And at the same time, people, because of the lack of awareness, are inadvertently bringing them to public spaces. So there's kind of a perfect storm scenario that's happened this year.
So do you mean then that bed bugs, people, you might actually not even know you've got them and be spreading them around the community?
Oh, absolutely. 60% of people don't initially respond to the bites. So you can have a problem and no symptoms, be completely unaware of it. It's like a symptomless typhoid Mary spreading her way around the town.
And so then I go to the cinema or get on a bus and bring them back to my house, is that right?
Absolutely. If you have an overlap with the person who's spreading them, then there is a risk that you'll either be fed upon while you're sitting in the same location, or that they may make their way all the way back to your home with you.
And they're a real problem to get rid of, aren't they?
They can be very, very complex. I always explain to people it's a job that takes experience. It doesn't always work in the way that people think it should. And therefore, if you have an advanced problem, don't attempt to tackle it yourself. Don't use aerosols, don't use foggers, don't use smoke bombs. Get professional help as soon as you can.
So how do you actually get rid of them then? Is it chemical?
Again, one of the crazy things about bedbugs, we're all familiar with superbugs in terms of bacteria. Well, we have superbugs in terms of bedbugs. So we stopped using chemicals in 2014 when we realised they were no longer effective. So we have completely green methods, but there are people out there who will still tackle it chemically, but it might take them 5 or 6 goes to get it right.
So what do you do then? Do you infect them with some kind of disease?
No, we're a little bit more old school and traditional. It turns out that one of the first pest control firms in the world, formed in 1650, were bedbug specialists. So we went back and researched and looked at what they did back in the days before synthetic chemicals, and we realised that attention to detail and being extremely thorough means that you can rapidly reduce people's problems. We then use a specially designed steamer. We put down some organic material that's fossilized in nature. We use our Passive Plus monitoring system. And then there's an awful lot of education. So we teach people what they need to know, explain to people exactly what they've got to do step by step, and to educate them about avoiding bringing them back into the property.
Well, how do you avoid them then?
By checking the beds. For example, if you went to stay away in a hotel, the first thing I do is drop my luggage into the bath so that it's protected. I'll check the head end of the bed. I'm looking for live samples, car skins, fecal traces. If I see any bed bugs, I've avoided being infected in the first place.
So you can actually see their traces?
Oh, absolutely. People get them confused with dust mites, which are practically invisible or microscopic to the human eye. Bed bugs, when they hatch out of an egg, are about 2 millimeters in length, and a fully fed adult can be up to 15 millimeters in length. So they're really quite large insects, but the problem is not many people go looking for them nowadays.
And so you just look in a mattress or something?
You'd look around the piping of the mattress, within the frame of the bed, underneath the frame of the bed, and you should be conducting that level of inspection at least once a month. And while you're at it, reward your bed and the fact that you spend 180 hours a month sleeping in it with a really good thorough clean at the same time.
Well, there's a fun activity for this evening. That's David Cain, who is a bedbugs expert.